I saw what happened. You were holding a toddler age.
8-month-old baby on my hip. Yeah.
And that was with your.
All of them.
That was with your left.
My 4-year-old child is sitting behind me.
She needs the microphone. We can't hear her.
That was with your left hand. Your right hand was kind of obscured by a curtain.
Let her speak.
Everybody else be quiet.
I don't really want to discuss the logistics, because the thing that is important here is that you are talking about friendlier procedures. You are talking about probable cause before entering homes. This is not happening. This did not happen to me. I was forced out of my house at gunpoint, and the gun was pointed at me. I don't care what anybody wants to say. There was a gun pointed at me with my child on my hip. There was no probable cause. You were invited to that land. You came with 12 sheriffs, 6 at my door. You, Desideer, and a man, I don't know from what department he was in. And you guys came into my home. You have traumatized my family, moved my family. And there's no justification. You can't say, where was your hand? My hand was at my head. My baby was on my other hip. I'm sorry. I do want an apology.
Let's let him have a chance to answer. Let him answer.
There was an inspection warrant for Mr. Garth's property. I'm not sure if it was John's intention to notify him ahead of time or not.
He was notified. Actually, you were invited.
But Mr.
John
Garth.
Desideer was invited at 9 o'clock in the morning.
But Mr. Garth called John, and John told him we had an inspection warrant in Humboldt County.
Not true.
You also cut the gate with him standing there.
We did, because Mr. Garth would not open the gate.
You did not let him read the warrant. You cut the gate before he could read the warrant. If someone was saying check the numbers, they're not giving us time to check anything. They are handing a warrant out, and they are cutting the gate, and they are storming it. Doors were kicked in to people that were not home. This was a home community. This was not a scene. There was no marijuana scene there. The sheriffs came first to my door. There was no, oh, well, you know, you guys go in because there's something crazy going on there. I answered the door to banging, and there was a sheriff, Fulton, Deputy Fulton, with a gun pointed at me, yelling and screaming for me to get out of my house. I said, I have my children here, put your gun down. He did not put his gun down until I was out of my house. And then another man, maybe you could inform me who this man was, with blonde hair, crew cut, bulletproof vest, gun, ran into my house to check if anyone else was there. Who was that man? What department was he from?
I don't remember who that was. He was driving one of the trucks. He had short, crew-cut hair. He had a bulletproof vest on and a big gun. And you don't. I mean, he was standing next to. He was standing next to my door. You were standing right there. I was standing right there. I just don't remember who else was there.
But who else is involved on these raids? That's what I want to know. Who was that guy?
It was probably somebody from the Special Services Unit at the Sheriff's Department. I don't know exactly who it was.
Explain your behavior.
Yes.
No, I haven't seen it.
We're going to let the speaker continue.
I will apologize to you. I didn't like the way you treated it.
And he's trying to answer a question. Please let him.
I'm hesitant to tell another officer what he needs to do or not do in order to protect himself, unless it's a violation of his department's policy. And I don't know what the Sheriff's Department's policy is in that regard.
Okay, so that leads me directly to the sheriffs came before you. What I heard you say earlier was that you asked for backup. They came before you in my house, and you're telling me you don't have any call. There's nobody being accountable for what is happening. I host all of you. You you give them guns, I hold you accountable. I do. How can you be justifying this when you're saying, I don't know who's doing this, I can't say. I just don't understand. It makes me very frustrated to know who's protecting me and my family and these people's families.
Maybe you could answer, who was in charge of that ground operation?
At that point in time, it would have been investigator designated.
And Desideer was standing behind the sheriff.
He was, I don't remember exactly where he was, but he was
He was
there.
standing behind the sheriff, I saw him. So there's a sheriff pointing a gun at me with John standing behind him, and you're saying that, you know, there needs to be just cause to go into these buildings.
The inspection warrant allowed us to enter the buildings.
The guests here are hearing our feedback, they're hearing this young woman talk about her experience, and I believe they are hearing it.
I am thankful for this meeting. This is the first time I've been able to speak directly to you since that day, and I want you to know. I want you to Yeah, I think I was.
Can we let the speaker speak, please? I think what she has to say is a little more important than what you're yelling. Thank you.
What I want to say is thank you for hearing that. Thank you for apologizing. I want to see a change. I don't want to just hear words. I want people to feel safe in their houses. I want to know who's in control of whose guns, who's in control of whose people's. I think people want to know that here.
I mentioned earlier that we've learned a lot in the last year on interacting with the sheriff's department. This was a big step. We had some discussions about this afterwards.
But it's still continuing. This happened in July, and there's been raids since then where people are still feeling very uncomfortable.
Well, I can't speak for feeling uncomfortable, but because I'm sure that happens. But at the same time, to the best of my knowledge, we have not had any. I know no code enforcement investigator, and I don't believe any deputy has pointed a weapon at anybody since that time, until probable cause of some other crime has been found. And even then, I haven't seen it. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, that's happened. There have been some allegations that people have been, pulled out of bed by people with M4 carbines, but that's not us. I don't know who that is.
I hope this is a great change.
Investigator. I do apologize. They are deputized by me. They carry firearms under my authority. I am not passing the buck to anyone. It is a situation that it is an arrangement that I've been unhappy with for a while. I've been speaking with county council. I have all the responsibility, but not the authority for code enforcement investigators.
Who does?
Code enforcement investigators.
We'd like to the question and answer period happen, please.
I rely on Jeff and the officers under county council to do their job appropriately. I operate under that expectation. But if they do something wrong the way it currently is, I have no authority over it.
Where's Richard Landry?
This has been something that the county council and I have been discussing for a while because of the situation I feel uncomfortable with. Having this arrangement, it's an arrangement that preceded me. I think, as Jeff is indicating, this is helpful to governmental officers, county council. Certainly, this is something that has been on our menu with county council for a while. This arrangement, it's an uncomfortable arrangement for me because if something happens under my deputization with people that I have no authority over, I cannot discipline, then I'm the one that's responsible.
And can you revoke the deputization?